going to assemble the layer lens, and what you'll need to do that is a small Phillips, pair of scissors, and a hot glue gun. So these are the parts you get. In the package you have 4 screws, a white part which I call the base, a black part which I call the lens holder, and then a black ring to retain the lens on the lens holder. All the parts, and actually also Velcro, 9 inches of Velcro. I have a lens here which we're going to use to put into the layer lens. So to start, make sure you take off the protective tape or paper that is on the laser cut parts. So you just have to peel these off. So now in terms of the orientation of each of the parts, the white base you want to position so that the thin area is to your left and the thicker area from the top and the bottom is on the bottom. The black lens holder, you want to make sure that the matte side is facing you and that the slightly flatter side of the lens is to the right. And then the ring, you want to just make sure that it's oriented so that the holes line up, obviously, with the holes in the lens holder and then the base. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you push the lens into the lens holder. And here's a good way to do that. You just put the lens holder flat on the table, sit the lens over it, and then push down on the lens. It's a pretty tight fit, but if you just carefully work it in the edges, and once you have it in the edges, again put it down on the table, and then you can push it down into the lens holder. So you don't have to be too concerned about if it's flat at the bottom or not. We're going to deal with that in a little bit. You just want to make sure that it's sort of fully seated in there and sort of straight inside of the lens holder. Okay. So once that's done, you can take the ring and put each of the screws in there. You can put them in all the way. So once that's done, what you'll do is sit the retainer ring on the black lens holder and start to screw the screws in, just so you can feel them coming out on the other side. So once you feel it, stop and move on to the next screw. Alright, so you can see that the screws are just sticking out a little bit. You can just feel them on the other side. So now you take, again, make sure you have the orientation right. You line up the two pieces and you should be able to feel the other side where it should sit because the screws are already sticking out. So I can line it up fairly easily. So now you want to take one of the screws, make sure that you press the parts together, the white part and the lens holder part, and then work your first screw into it further. But you still don't want to go all the way. You want to have maybe a millimeter still sticking out. And now move on to the next screw. So now you're fusing the two parts together, but you're still not pushing it all the way down. Alright. Now you have the lens retainer sort of sticking out. You can still see space in between. And what you want to do now is press down on the lens hard till it fully seats onto the flat white base. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to really push down hard. So you heard it snap into place, and now we're sure that the lens is all the way at the bottom. And what you can do now is just finish screwing the screws in. And the black ring then basically just makes sure that the lens will never come out. Don't over tighten the screws. They don't need to be that tight. Okay. So now we have the layer lens assembled, and now we're going to move on to the Velcro. So the Velcro, we're going to cut into 2 equal pieces. So that's where the scissors come in. And now you're going to take the Velcro with the hooks facing out and the fuzzy side facing in, and then slide it into the lens holder. And you want to just move it in so that you have a piece sticking out on the other side, just like that. And now we're going to take the hot glue gun and put just a small drop of hot glue on this fuzzy side of the short piece that's sticking out. And you don't need a lot, so I'm going to put a little bit on. So just like that. And we're going to press the two parts together, make sure that it's straight, and just hold it for a little bit. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So here's the lens fully assembled, and you mount it on the GoPro just like that, with the two parts here strapped on, and mount it on your plane or multi-rotor just like that. In terms of the orientation again, the layer lens was designed so that you could have a Velcro strap holding down the GoPro and it would pass by the layer lens and still you could see the display. So that's why I encourage you to use the orientation of the parts just like we did when we went through it.